Hi everyone, this is Damien and Katie. I don't know how else to introduce myself, as I am in the midst of integrating really heavily between the two subsystems, which at this point are really the only two subsystems in our whole system, as we've gotten everybody, as far as I know, to fit under the category of one or the other of those two alters. So, basically, I'm just in this huge place of core synthesis, and it's honestly making recording this video really difficult. Looking at myself is really hard, not because of low self-esteem, but because of it just feels surreal. It just feels surreal. It's like I can see both parts at once in this way I never could before, and I actually feel better about my appearance and who I am as a person than I have ever felt in my life. I'm actually looking at myself right now, and I feel beautiful to myself. I just still feel foreign. I think I'm speaking from the perspective of a part that's remembering what it was like to just be Damien, and they're looking at Katie and what we used to call Katie, which was our physical body, and especially our face, I should say, and our feminine attributes. So, I'm looking at that from kind of a more Damien-centered perspective, and I'm not hating it. I'm not seeing it as totally separate from me, but it just still feels foreign. So it's actually a good thing. It's just a weird thing, the way that I'm feeling about myself right now. So, it's making this whole process really uncomfortable. I don't remember if I mentioned it in this take. I just had to take multiple takes of this. This is the best I've done so far. I don't remember if I mentioned it in this take, but my voice is also freaking me out. I can hear both, and it's weird. So anyways, this video, it's supposed to be about something we're feeling around our deprogramming process with Delta, something really big. It has to do with all this integration. I think we're going to title this still a Deprogrammed Delta Alter Speak video, but it's kind of different from our other ones. But a huge thing has happened with the Delta deprogramming. So we woke up the other morning. I think we were kind of half awake, switching between parts, kind of in a hypnogogic state during the night, and some things came up about this during the night also. But when we woke up, we were really deeply in a state of awareness that we did not feel like a Delta anymore, like at all. And we remembered what it was like to feel like one, but that feeling, that pressure, the dissociation of feeling like I was in a control tower controlling my body, basically the feeling that I was Damien controlling Katie, it's gone. And I'm not saying that there aren't any parts of my entire polyfragmented system that aren't still experiencing that feeling of being Delta. I can't speak for everyone in the system, but for a big part of us, at least, this is what we're experiencing. And I don't really know how to articulate it, but I felt this freedom and this sense of inner peace, and this feeling like I wasn't at war. Now, at the same time, I felt tremendous anxiety and pressure from young child alters who I was co-conscious with, and I've stayed pretty co-conscious with a lot of them since then. I've continued to feel this tremendous anxiety and pressure, but in myself, I can feel that in the boundaries of myself, or at least I could, when this first happened, and for the first little bit, I could feel this really intense sense that I myself, who I am, was not feeling that pain. And I recognize that some people might think that what I'm actually describing is further dissociation, but I swear that that's not what was happening. I think that I had achieved full integration and trauma processing within a particular subsystem. And so I was co-conscious with other subsystems, but in my subsystem, I didn't have the pain that I had previously been feeling. And so I think that that's what was happening. And I want to clarify that I said, I'm sorry for twitching my hand. I want to clarify that I said that I could feel this, instead of that I'm feeling it now, because now I actually do have a sense of anxiety that feels like me, because last night I started deprogramming around something really powerful. I'm a little nervous to talk about it in this video for safety, because we're trying to prevent accessing, but I would like to talk about it. I think that it is really important, and I'm starting to feel like I'm actually going to cry, which is just astounding. That comes from the integration that I've done with Katie. I'm speaking again from a more Damien-centered perspective right now, but I'm still in the midst of all the integration. But I really do feel like I might cry. But I'd be surprised if tears actually came out. So, yeah, I'm feeling this sense of anxiety that is part of me. It feels like it really is a part of me in my core. And actually the acceptance that I have around that is really comfortable in a way. It's weird. It's a comforting kind of anxiety because of the level of acceptance that I am actively engaging in around it. But this memory. So in the memory, I was 4 years old, I believe. And I was in the far corner, one of the far corners, I should say, of the preschool that I attended at the time. I went to an incl run preschool attached to a church. And there wasn't much opportunity for peace of mind there. But I did manage to get snapshots sometimes. And in this moment, when I was in the far corner of the playground, I was doing my favorite thing, which was playing with the little, I want to give a trigger warning here. This may get triggering for survivors of REMC, especially MK Ultra. I was playing with these little fuzzy black caterpillars. They were my friends, my best friends in my mind, as I didn't get along with the other kids so easily. It wasn't that I was aggressive or anything. In many ways, I was really timid, but I was just a bit too precocious and in tune with something spiritual that I think a lot of the other kids weren't, and that alienated me, ironically enough. So I was playing with these caterpillars as they were my best friends, and I would build little kind of playgrounds for them, so to speak, little structures that they could crawl on, and sometimes there'd be dozens of them, and I really felt that they liked me. And in this memory, I'm playing with them, and I just felt this tremendous sense of peace, at least in the part of me that was the front memory, the surface level memory, or that I should say that contained it. They weren't a memory, they were a living being, but they were containing this memory. And it was a really amazing moment of simple childhood clarity. This may sound really commonplace to a lot of people, but for REMC, it's not. That kind of connection, it at least wasn't for me. It didn't happen very often. But last night I started integrating around it, and I accepted that that child was me, that true self, that core being that came out in that moment. That was me. Although I'm sorry, there's background noise now. I think there was some earlier, but it's getting bad now. I apologize if y'all can hear it. Anyways, I accepted that this was me. And this is a really massive integration. And as soon as I did, I started to accept that I wasn't the only one there, that part that contained the front memory. I was out of body all over the playground, looking from various angles. So far I've only recovered a few actual snapshots, but there were more out-of-body fragments all over the playground, and I was terrified, and there were parts that were looking out for us. They were working as scouts to travel dissociatively out of body to see if there were people around who were going to hurt us. Because like I said, this was an REMC place, and even if it wasn't, I still would have been terrified because I was in REMC itself. I just started recovering all of this fear, and we're really good at pacing our deprogramming process now compared to how we used to be, and so no crises really happened as a result of us coming in contact with this anxiety. It went pretty smoothly. But like I said, now that I've been pretty much continuously integrating with anxious fragments associated with this memory, I really feel like this anxiety is a part of me. Right now I'm actually shaking, and it feels like a really positive release.